This past Friday on SmackDown, Nick Aldis introduced the brand new Women's United States Championship exclusively for the women of the SmackDown brand. So Katie Kinsey Bay from the ShElite Showcase is joining me today to talk about the 6 women that shouldn't win the inaugural United States Women's Championship. But don't worry, if you want to see who we think should win the titles, go over to ShElite Showcase's YouTube channel and we'll find out on that video over there. So with that being said, let's get to the countdown. Katie, welcome to the 606. It's a pleasure having you here.
Long time no see, Vince.
It's like we don't podcast together semi-regularly.
Never.
But
Never.
Obviously, you put up a fantastic article, talking about all the women on the main roster overall who should be the inaugural women's champion, the United States Women's Champion. So we're going to take inspiration from that, and you did really inspire me with this video. I kind of had a little bit of idea, but you just kind of ran with it. I'm like, that's exactly what I want to do. Katie's a genius. I brought you on here, and no one better to do this countdown with than you. We're each gonna pick 3 women, three picks each. Why don't you start things off? Who's your pick
for who should not be United States Women's Champion?
For who should not be the first inaugural women's United States champion?
Well, this should come as no surprise. Charlotte Flair. She's not even back yet. But I have said this many a time. I respect Charlotte in the ring and everything she has done in the ring.
Right.
But if she were to just come back, and Nick Aldis said he's not just handing shit out, which I respect.
Mm-hmm.
But she has a tendency to insert herself into many a title opportunity.
Right.
So let's not have Charlotte win it. Even though people keep putting that evil out there. Jalen TC specifically.
Yeah.
Putting that evil out there.
Guilty of it too.
Yeah, you too. All you guys. I personally don't think she should be the inaugural. She can win it eventually, sure. I don't give a crap. But the inaugural should not be Charlotte.
I agree. I mean, I did have that little fantasy booking idea of having Andrade be the men's U.S. champion and Charlotte being the U.S. women's champion, then finally be an item on screen. I thought could help Andrade's character, especially if it leans more towards the heel side of things. But in terms of being the inaugural United States Women's Champion, I don't think Charlotte should be, even though it's not that she's not capable of it. It's just that other women deserve that spot more than her. Yeah. And I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. Charlotte should not be it. Another person that shouldn't be it, and this might surprise you because I kind of like her in that spot, but I don't think so. My pick is Bayley. Okay. I love Pam. She's a great wrestler. She's a great woman. She's a great ambassador for the women's locker room. She's a great leader. However, we just got off her babyface run as the SmackDown Women's Champion or WWE Women's Champion, whatever.
Yeah.
And they didn't really do much with her. Obviously, that can change if she is the inaugural United States Women's Champion. But we just saw her as a champion. Maybe it's time for someone else to take that reign and see what they can do as in that champion role. And Bayley's always been better as a chaser, chasing the title as being the chasee in being the champion. So I just don't think Pam should be the first U.S. Women's Champion for the same reason as Charlotte, but not as drastic, obviously. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. I did see a lot of people talking about it online, obviously fantasy booking. Ever since the title got announced, everyone's fantasy booking who they want to win, when they want to win, blah, 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 blah. But I did see Bayley's name pop up a lot. Although I love Bayley,
right,
got to see her win the title at Mania and everything. I respect the hell out of Bayley and everything she does. I agree with you. She's one of the 4 horsewomen. We're talking about 2 of the 4 horsewomen here who have broken barriers already in WWE. Yes, this could be a nod to them. Be yeah, thanks. But giving the opportunity to somebody else, I think, means a little bit more, especially now, because a lot of these girls who might have been watching Bayley and Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, when in their prime, are now in the business kicking ass.
Yeah.
So giving them an opportunity, I feel like might be better suited for the inaugural champion. But again, Bayley's also a person where I would like to see her win it eventually.
Oh, 100%. I think at some point she should, especially if she's going to keep that Grand Slam Pam title.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, yeah, just not right now, Bailey. Just not right now. Just be a
Just
little
not
bit
right
more.
now.
What about you? What's your next pick as to who should not be the inaugural champion?
Well, I mean, she's the current women's champion. Nia
Nia
Jax.
Jax.
Now, I have been a big proponent of Nia ever since she came back.
Yeah.
She has been kicking ass, taking names, looking fantastic in everything she's been doing. Her promo work has gotten better. Her in-ring work has gotten better. I respect the hell out of her. She's been a very dominant champion. But I don't like double champions.
No.
Anywhere. We had enough of that shit during COVID and pre-post pandemic. Too many double champions. I don't like it. Especially if it's two singles titles. No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm with you because it's not a situation where it's like Kurt Angle, where he was the European and IC champion during his Attitude Era run, or just like, I don't know, like even Keith Lee when he was North American champion and then became the NXT champion.
He dropped one of the titles like the next week.
Exactly. So it's like, unless she's not women's champion, like it's like, let's say like Tiffany Stratton cashes in on her and she's not the champion anymore. I think that's the only exception to her not being the inaugural champion. She's the queen of the ring. She is the current women's champion on SmackDown, but she doesn't need that United States championship. Definitely. You know what? Even if she doesn't get the title and she loses the WWE Women's Championship, she still has enough of a story with other members of the roster where she doesn't need the title to help fuel a story narrative. So I'm with you as well, Katie, for sure. I'll take on the next one for sure. And this is going to be a 2-for-1. So I'm going to knock out my last two in one take. And I'm just going to cover them together. And that is, of course, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. We love Team Cocoa Butter around here.
Yeah.
Love them. Shout out to Young Kings Wrestling for the name of the tag team. But like you mentioned with Nia, they are current champions. We don't need them to be double champions. And then let's say Jade wins it or Bianca wins it. The only reason I could see them like being champions, and it makes somewhat sense as a story narrative, would be to help further that eventual split. But you don't need the US title. You don't need to wrap up the US title with that because they're already currently the tag team champions. And that's the main reason they're tag team champions, is to eventually tease that split and motivate it. I don't know about you, Katie, but I don't, as much as I love Bianca and Jade, I don't think they should be the inaugural champions.
No. I love both women. Again, I don't fucks with double champions. Especially, we've seen that a lot with the women while they hold the women's tag titles. Is, oh, I'm half of the women's tag team champions, but I'm also the Raw women's champion and shit like that. I don't like that. I do see what you're saying. How if this were to be put on either one of them, it would only be to further the eventual split that is being slowly burned out to us over like the past few months. I think it should just all culminate at WrestleMania, 1-on-1. That's just me, no titles involved, just pure dominant women fighting. Right. Which, that's all we need. Come on now. But I can see why people would want them to be champions. Either one of them. I mean, Jade was TBS champion, held that shit down, was undefeated. Bianca's multi-time champion, very strong champion. But since they are doing what they're doing now, and it looks like they're not going to be losing those titles anytime soon. I don't think either one should be inaugural champion.
No, I'm with you, and I'm feeling a bit of a theme here with all the women we've mentioned, like whether it was Charlotte, Bailey, Jade, Bianca, Nia. Is we're not saying they shouldn't be the U.S. champion at some point in their career. We're just saying they shouldn't be the first.
Yes,
because it should be carried by someone that could use the title and help elevate it a little bit more. Katie, you have one more. Who's your next one?
See, I'm torn. Blair Davenport.
Oh, Blair Davenport.
This bitch. Has not even been on TV for months at this point after getting her ass cooked by Naomi, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Is not, in ring wise, not very good. I've been seeing reports about them wanting to like utilize her more when SmackDown goes to 3 hours and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, or how about no? We don't do that. You have other women on the roster you can definitely use that with. Yeah, just I forgot she was even in the company until I like looked at the roster and I was like, oh yeah, she's there too. Crazy. It definitely was a toss up between her and Tiffy time. Because I saw people being like, oh, that'll be the title Tiffany cashes in on, which if that's the case, that's fucking bullshit.
It makes no sense for Tiffany Stratton. I know we're going away from Blair, but it makes no sense for Tiffany to challenge to cash in for the United States Women's Championship because she could just enter whatever tournament or battle royal, whatever they're going to use to determine the inaugural champion. She could just be a contender in it and qualify for it without having to use her briefcase. It doesn't make sense.
And I think it would just be so shitty if someone won and then Tiffany immediately cashed in on them.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, we've already had first women things being tainted. Cough, cough, James Ellsworth. So I don't want another cool women's thing to be tainted by something stupid.
For sure.
But yeah,
they got to do things
Blair.
right.
Back to the main point.
That was the original thesis statement is fuck Blair Davenport.
Original thesis, in conclusion, fuck Blair Davenport. I don't even want her wrestling anymore.
I'm with you 100%. And me personally, the only positive thing that I've ever gotten out of Blair Davenport is for that little sliver of moment in time they allowed me to call her and Unholy Union the Blair Witch Project as a threesome unit, which I know you're not a fan of, but I thought it was a very funny, creative name. Matt liked it. Shout out to Matt from Smacking Around Podcast. We love you, Matt. But yeah, Blair should definitely not be. Could she be in the tournament or battle royal, whatever they're going to use to determine the winner?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. 100%. Should she win it? Hell no. Because she's not going to do anything. She's like a vacuum of charisma. No one's going to care about that U.S. title if you put it on her to start things off.
Yeah, that'll be a wasted opportunity for an inaugural champion. For sure.
For sure. We technically already covered 6 women, but we mentioned her loosely. So I'm just going to say that Jada and Bianca were a 2 for 1, and this is going to be my final one. Tiffany Stratton, as we can see, Miss Money in the Bank. It's always Tiffy time. But I had a Tiffany epiphany, and I don't think that Tiffany should be the inaugural United States Women's Champion. Like you mentioned, Katie, she is Miss Money in the Bank. She doesn't need it. She has her like story plot to help move her story with Nia, whoever she decides to cash in on. She could hold on to it for a whole year. I know there's people speculating that maybe Tiffany could be the first person to unsuccessfully cash in and still be okay. I wouldn't want to see it because I love Tiffany so much. But when it comes to that U.S. title scene, of course, include her in it. Have her be involved in some way, shape, or form. Don't let her be the first one, though.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of her unsuccessfully cashing in because they have stressed the point, and I even talked about it when I did all of my Money in the Bank winners thing. All women have been successful in their cash-ins. Yeah. And usually when they do that, that means bad news bears. Like, bad things are coming. So with Tiffany waiting this long and being buddy-buddy with Nia, I could see it happening where she tries to cash in, she fails, enters said tournament or whatever they're going to do, loses that, and then makes her way to the title eventually. Like, right. Because the crowds love Tiffy time. Yeah. Don't we all? Sure. I think having her, like, get that point and we're just like, oh no, she didn't win. And then have her in the US tournament. Oh shit, she didn't win that either. Right. I think it could really put her in a position to be built up again as, like, either this Barbie doll baby face or this badass heel, cutesy heel. Like, I think whatever they decide to do, if they do it this way, this is me fantasy booking completely. If they did it that way, I could see her winning the US title and then maybe working her way up to either women's title, depending on time frames and where everyone is and all that fun stuff. But yeah, definitely not inaugural champion. And don't let her cash in on the inaugural champion either. So help me God.
God, please. See, this is all Austin Theory's fault because he cashed in on the U.S. title when Seth was champion, and ever since then, people have been thinking, well, you can use it on the mid-card title if you want. Remember, they were doing the same narrative with Damian Priest when he was senior Money in the Bank, and I hated it.
Which, fuck Austin Theory, A. It's because you had 18 dominant champions, and you couldn't fucking beat any of them, so you said, let me just pick up this mid-card title, and you still lost. Stupid.
He should have at least used it on the NXT title. That's worst case scenario.
Who was NXT champion at that time?
Maybe Braun Breaker, if not Mello.
And, like, that could have been, like, at least, like, a better shot than, like, a Roman.
Yeah. He should have still cashed in on Roman and failed because he failed anyways. If you're gonna fail, might as well go against the top dog.
Big dog.
Big dog. Head of the table. I got you barking on the channel. But yeah, guys, those are our 6 names, 6 selections, technically 7 because we kind of cheated. I kind of cheated. That's my fault. Of who should not be. Me. That's on me. It's okay. It's all right. It's what Eddie Guerrero told me to do. Yeah, so that's what we think shouldn't win the inaugural United States Women's Championship. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. And again, I encourage you to check out the video over on ShElite Showcase's channel where we talk about who we think should win the inaugural U.S. Women's Champion. That's going to be a mouthful to say eventually. So, yeah, Katie, I appreciate you being on the 606. Let people know where they can find you everywhere on social media and the channel.
Yeah. Thanks, friends, for having me on. I'm glad my writing that I wrote in less than 24 hours inspires you to do this. You can follow me on Twitter, KatieWrestling13, the link tree in my bio to take all things ShElite Showcase, twitch.tv/ShElite Showcase, and youtube.com/ShElite Showcase. Typically Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern-ish is when me and Savannah go live. Yeah, so Linktree in the bio will also take you to the Substack article that I wrote that Vince is referring to about 8 women who could potentially be the inaugural champion, which, like you said, we're going to be talking about on my channel. So, exactly. Yeah.
And all that stuff will be linked in the episodes down below in the comment section, the description. So go ahead and check that out. Hit those links. Follow the channel at 606 Universe, spell out the first 6 on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter for now until we move over to Blue Sky and just everywhere else audio podcasts can be found. Thank you guys. We'll catch you guys next time in the 606.